The film has its roots in a novel by John Russo, also called Return of the Living Dead. When Russo and George A. Romero parted ways after their 1968 film Night of the Living Dead, Russo retained the rights to any titles featuring Living Dead, while Romero was free to create his own series of sequels, beginning with Dawn of the Dead. John Russo and producer Tom Fox planned to bring Return of the Living Dead to the screen in 3D, and directed by Tobe Hooper. Dan O'Bannon was brought in to give the script a polish, and after Hooper backed out to make Life Force, also from a script by Dan O'Bannon, O'Bannon was offered a director's seat. He accepted on the condition he could rewrite the film radically so it would be different from Romero's films. It was rewritten with more humor. John Russo retains the storywriter credit on the film for developing the project, but the final film bears little to no resemblance to his original novel. Russo would eventually make his own canon series with a 1998 revised edition of Night of the Living Dead, subtitled the 30th Anniversary Edition, and its sequel, Children of the Living Dead. Tom Matthews was cast as Freddy, who pierced his ear for the role. Director Dan O'Bannon was originally supposed to play Frank, and he wrote the part with himself in mind, but when James Karen came in to read for another part, O'Bannon was simply blown away and hired him on the spot. Beverly Randolph was cast as Tina, and Linnea Quigley was cast as Trash. Mark Venturini was cast as Suicide. Miguel Nunez was cast as Spider, who was homeless at the time. Brian Peck was cast as Scuzz. John Philbin was cast as Chuck. Jewel Shepard was originally offered the role of Trash, but turned it down because she was fed up with always being cast in roles that required nudity. Instead, she was cast as Casey. The part of Bert was originally offered to Leslie Nielsen, who wanted too much money, then offered to Robert Webber, who hated the script. Then they tried Scott Brady, who was too sick and actually died a year later. They finally went with Clu Gulager right before the first day of filming. Vincent Schiavelli was almost considered for the part of Ernie, but the role would go to Don Calfa. The Tarman zombie is performed by actor and puppeteer Alan Trotman, who is best known for his work with Jim Henson and the Muppets. Return of the Living Dead launched Tony Gardner's career as an independent makeup effects artist. The Simpsons creator Matt Groening came up with the tagline, "They're hungry and they're not vegetarians," which appears in some trailers. Another tagline he came up with, "First they want to meet you, then they want to eat you," was rejected by the studio. Originally, Frank was supposed to be completely transformed into a zombie and join the zombie mob, but James Karen did not wish to film any scenes in the cold rain of Los Angeles, so he instead suggested that Frank cremate himself before said transformation can be completed. O'Bannon agreed to the suggestion. Richard P. Rubenstein of Laurel Entertainment didn't want people to think this film was part of George A. Romero's Living Dead series. He even got an injunction to stop them from using Living Dead in the title, but the MPAA arbitrators ruled in the favor of the movie's producers. The film is known for introducing the popular concept of zombies eating brains, as opposed to just eating human flesh, like previous zombie movies. Some of the zombie extras were paid more to eat real calf brains in the film. Although the movie is set in Louisville, Kentucky, it was filmed in California in just 6 weeks. The only scene actually filmed in Louisville was the shot of the front gate of Louisville's Eastern Cemetery. The Return of the Living Dead was released on August 16, 1985. It was a critical and a moderate box office success. It currently holds a 91% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes and grossed over $14 million domestically on an estimated budget of $4 million. Roger Ebert gave the film 3 out of 4 stars. It was also nominated for 4 Saturn Awards in 1986. The film was released on VHS in 1986 and on DVD on August 27, 2002. Scream Factory released a 30th Anniversary Collector's Edition Blu-ray on July 19, 2016. A book titled The Complete History of the Return of the Living Dead was released on October 2010. The book covered all 5 movies in the series. I hope you've enjoyed this brief history on the Return of the Living Dead, and I thank you for watching.